Hello, friends of Abraham. This is a video about using EFT to close the vibrational emotional gap to your vibrational escrow. Abraham says that the only reason you don't have anything that you desire is that you are not a vibrational match to it. So we're going to apply EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, to help you close that emotional vibrational gap. EFT is a technique, emotional freedom technique, that uses your fingers to tap on acupuncture points. So I'm going to do a couple of rounds of EFT to help close the emotional vibrational gap, so that we can all acquire the desires that we have, to allow the desires that we have to manifest in our lives. So follow me. First you start on the karate chop point, and you say your statement 3 times. Even though I have yet to close the gap in my desires, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I have yet to close the gap to my desires, I deeply love and accept myself. Even though I have yet to close the gap of my desires, I deeply love and accept myself. Then you start tapping on the various acupuncture points using a reminder statement. Closing the gap outside your eyebrow. Outside your eyebrow. Closing the gap. Under the eye. Closing the gap. Under the nose, closing the gap. Under the chin, closing the gap. On the chest, closing the gap. Then you grab your wrist, closing the gap. Take a deep breath. Release it. Say peace. Feel how you, just check inside to see how you feel, if you feel some relief. Going to do one more round. This time with my left hand. With the different another hand, you can use the same hand, but I like to change sides. Closing the gap. Outside the eye. Closing the gap. Under the eye. Closing the gap. Under the nose, closing the gap. On the chin, closing the gap. Chest, closing the gap. Grabbing the wrist, closing the gap. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Say peace. You can check inside to see how you feel. Many times when you release energy, release resistance, you take a deep breath or you yawn. Sometimes you get teary-eyed. There are different manifestations for releasing energy. We're going to use another technique called positive points. That is using the neurovascular reflex points, which are right on the top of your head. If you feel right in the middle of your forehead, right in the middle of your eyebrows on your forehead, you'll feel 2 little bumps. Those are your neurovascular reflex points. And what you want to do is just find them and pull the skin between them apart. And as you hold them, you're just going to think about closing the gap. You can hold them for a minute, 2 minutes, however long. Generally, you feel some relief. You feel a little energetic change when you're holding them. So you just hold them, thinking about closing the gap, your vibrational, emotional gap. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Say peace. Another thing that can help you close the gap is to give the subconscious mind a ritual. The subconscious mind loves rituals. So we're going to use closing our fingers as a symbol, as a ritual to remind the subconscious mind to close the gap. We're just going to do this. Anytime you think about your desired outcome, just think about closing the gap, you just do that. You can do this anytime. You can do any of your EFT tapping, or your holding of your positive points, or the hand signal ritual of closing the gap anytime throughout the day. Alright, well, thank you very much for your attention. Please leave comments and rate this video. I appreciate your time. Please drink lots of water after you do any of these exercises. You don't have to do it after your finger, but holding your positive points or doing EFT, because you need to replenish your water after you release energy. It's always beneficial to drink plenty of water. Alright, thank you very much for your attention. Bye.